I'm Mike Owens, offensive coordinator at Hilliard Bradley High School. Okay, today's offensive topic, we're going to talk about the switch routes out of multiple formations that we do at Hilliard Bradley. Our ability of our receivers to be able to sit the routes when we are capped by either safeties or corners, and our ability to tag multiple receivers to run the switch routes. We'll also look at the very end, the go route, and the ability of our receivers to break that route off as well if we see the corners getting deep and over the top. So we're first going to talking about our switch routes of multiple receiver sets. Okay, the first screen that you see here is our switch route to the boundary out of a 2x2 formation. Okay, and I will have listed what each position does and the landmarks that they have here in a couple of slides coming up. But for right now, what you will see is we're on the left hash. Okay, we are running a smash concept to the field. On the back side, okay, we are running our switch route with our number one and our number two receiver. Our running back, which you see labeled as the S back here, we do a couple different things with him out of this look. We will have him help reach if we are going to half roll the quarterback to get safeties and move off the hash. There will be times where we keep the quarterback in the pocket and have our running back run a gut route where he runs up the middle to about 5 yards at the Mike linebacker and then breaks to the field. That helps influence the Mike to get him out of the window of that dig route that we could possibly hitting with our number one receiver on the backside. All right, so as you see here, the X and the A, they're going to run the switch route. And as we talk about this in a couple slides here, you're going to see what their landmarks are. Okay, this slide here, we run the switch route out of empty, and it's 3x2. Again, we can do this on the hash. We can do it out in the middle of the field. We really don't care, where it is. It's more about, where are the safeties alignment and also where the corners alignment. So as you see here, okay, out of our 3x2 set, our running back becomes number two to the weak side. And we still have what looks as our three receiver side to the field, still run the smash concept. But what we do with number three, he takes over the route of the running back and he runs almost a whip inside. Again, we want to kind of hold that Mike linebacker. If he flies out, we sit and replace. And that's our check down. So if we cannot hit the backside switch routes because the defense has played it very well, then we're going to go ahead and dump it, all right, over the middle to the number three receiver, or if it's the running back out 2x2. Here is the receivers angle points. All right, as you see, the number one receiver to the boundary or number one receiver run the switch route. Okay, if we are on the hash into the boundary, he's going to line at the bottom of the numbers. All right, he wants to angle inside towards the hash, avoid the outside linebacker. We teach our number one receiver, do not go underneath that linebacker. All right, we want to make sure he gets depth. Okay, if he gets underneath a linebacker, he's going to get rerouted. All right, and he's going to run that route at about 4 to 5 yards and not get to the necessary 12 yards that we need him to get to. All right, so he wants to get to the hash and get vertical right now. His eyes are on the safety, the nearest safety to him. If there is a safety on that hash to him and he stays deep, he's going to break the route off at 12 yards and find that window and work inside. Okay, if the safety gets off the hash, okay, or if he's flat-footed or basically even with us at 12 yards, we're going to get past him right now. We're going to blow by him, all right, and get deep and look for the football because our quarterback is going to be reading him first. The number two receiver, which is labeled A here, all right, in this slide, he is going to release through the heels of the number one receiver, and he's going to widen to the sideline, reading the corner. His eyes are on the corner the entire way. If the corner's playing man-to-man and he runs with the X, okay, or is trying to take away the post route, all right, by the X and gets too far inside, then he's going to stay wide and get vertical, all right? Basically turns into a wheel route for him. If the corner does stay deep or on top of the A, or if he's playing in between the numbers and the sideline, and we consider that staying on top of the number two receiver, he's going to sit his route at 8 yards and he's going to work back to the sideline. Okay. The quarterback, we do a couple of different things with him. Like I said, we will open to the play side, all right, to make sure we get the safeties moving with his shoulders. We will also half roll him, all right, to that side and work back right away after his third step. All right, so we run a lot of sprint out and run a smash concept to the field out of our sprint out route. We like off of that route to be able to get the quarterback get depth for 3 hard steps, looking to the field, and then right away flipping his hips backside and seeing if we can take advantage of the vertical route by number 1, all right, or the vertical sit route by number 2 on the backside. And here's some film on the next slide to show that. Okay, as you see here, we're in an empty set. All right, we are basically in the middle of the field. Okay, we're going to run the switch concept down here to the 2 receiver side. All right, to the side that's closest to us. All right, what you're going to see here is we don't get enough depth, all right, by our number 1 or number 2, but you're going to see how they do sit the route and try to work inside off of this. Okay, again, our quarterback is going to look to the receiver side. They're on the smash concept. To that side there, number 3 to the field side is working over the middle. Okay, again, he is our check down at that point. Okay, so we have nothing open. He wants to whip away from the inside linebacker. As you can see here, we have number 1. All right, he's working to the hash. Okay, gets to about 12 yards here since we're on the 40-yard line. All right, needs to get a little bit deeper than that. Okay, and he's trying to still work inside. He's a safety staying on top of him and on top of the hash. So he wants to break down and work inside. All right, as you see number 2 here, it's going to run the wheel. He needs to get width. He needs to be a little bit wider than that. We want him, all right, at the bottom of the numbers if we're in the middle of the field. Okay, between the bottom of the numbers and the sideline. He's got to get a little bit wider. Okay, he sits his route off. All right, we make the completion. All right, so good job by our quarterback on that play. Okay, there's the end zone shot. You can see number 3 working, just sit in the middle. Again, if that mic gets away, works away from us to sit in place. All right, that way we can dump it down to you if we need to. Okay, here we are, 2x2 set. All right, from the hash. All right, as you can see now, we have our running back in the backfield. We actually have him to the side of the switch route, so we're going to run the switch route into the boundary. Okay, we're going to see number 1. All right, he's going to work, does a great job of running that dig route. He's going to see the safety over the top. Okay, we want him to work more over the middle. All right, number 2 does a great job of seeing his route as well. The corner gets depth. He sits on the sideline, and you're going to see our running back run the gut route, all right, up the middle, and then he needs to work towards the field side to help pull that mic away so we can throw that dig behind him. A quarterback, as you see here, he's just going to look to the left. We don't have him rolling here. All right, as you're going to see up top, number 1 stays over the top, that outside linebacker. Okay, he curls up right over the middle. Probably could have hit him there as well. I understand why our quarterback didn't do it. We saw that Mike getting deep. He gets the window there, does a good job of coming off of it. Okay, and because we're running that little dig, you can see the will linebacker. He's going to start cheating back towards the middle of the field, and that opens up the sideline route by number 2. Sit and get the first down for us. All right, here's the end zone shot. See right here. All right, we tell our quarterbacks if the dig is open, throw it. Okay, we want to make sure we make that throw because if the safety's playing deep, he has to go through the back of our receiver to make a play. All right, so we always want to try to hit number 1, whether he's getting vertical and past the safety or if he's digging up over the middle, because we want that safety to have to go through his back to make a play, and more times often than not, it's going to be a pass interference. But he does a good job. I think it was a little, muddy for him here with the mic, who got depth at first. He does a great job of coming back and putting that ball on the sideline. Okay, here again. All right, we're in a 2x2 set out of a different formation. All right, we have a tight end to the field. Okay, and our split receiver. with him as well to the field, and you're going to see that they're going to run the smash concept out of the tight end set. All right. And then to the boundary side, we're going to run the switch route. All right. By number 1 and number 2, you're going to see number 1 gets even, gets to the hash, and he's even with the safety. The safety gets flat footed and he goes right past him. There he is. He's even. We're going to go right past him, staying on the hash. He does a great job of running this route. Stays over the top of the will linebacker. Does not go underneath him. Gets to the hash, realizes the safety's eyes are still looking inside at the quarterback. He knows he has him beat. Quarterback does a great job as well, putting the ball in the hash where it needs to be. You will see the end zone shot of this. Okay, you can watch the safety. Starts on the hash, stays on the hash, eyes are inside. All right, does not flip his hips in time to open up and get depth. We know we've got our fastest receiver going right past them. Right now, next slide we have here is a 3-by-1 set. All right, we have our running back in the backfield. We like to throw this, especially if we're getting man-to-man. We'll run that switch route into the boundary. Okay, we are now, if we have no safety to the side of the number 1 receiver, if we see now that that free safety is pulled over, they're playing either cover 3 or cover 1, all right, then we know that we should be able to hit either 1 or 2 coming out of the backfield. This is going to be a great play, especially if you get teams that want to blitz. All right, and you're going to see a couple clips here where we actually dump the ball to the running back for a couple first down and then a touchdown to put his head late in the game. If, for whatever reason, the corner were to be playing post protect out of this look here, and he gets really deep, we treat him like a safety if he's by our number 1 receiver, which means when he's getting deep, all right, if the corner stays over the top of him, then he's going to break his route off and still work at 12, coming back across the middle. All right, so here we have is, when you're looking at this, you're looking at the box, and I'm thinking the same thing, okay? It's 2nd down and 5. All right, they got 5 in the box, or we probably should be running the football here, and it looks like it's a 3-deep look, all right? But what you'll see is post-snap, all right, this safety, even though it looks like it's 4 on basically 2 into the boundary, this safety here is cross-keying number 3 to the field. All right, so they're going to play 4 on 3 to the field, okay, and they are basically taking the other safety and rolling him into the box, all right, to help protect with the run game. And we know we've got 2 on 2 into the boundary. So we're going to have our number 1 receiver. Again, he's going to treat this backer like he should. All right, he's going to stay outside his shoulder, get to the hash. Now, his eyes are coming right here he's looking at this near safety. All right, he's not really worried about this guy on the hash, as we told him when they get in this defensive front, he will be cross-keying number 3. So we'll get that taken away by our movement of number 3. I think we have him going vertical this week to get him off that hash. All right, we're going to have number 1 get to the hash, get vertical, and read this safety. If he stays deep, he's going to sit the route. Okay, if he does it and we're even with him, after 12, we're going right to the hash and we're getting vertical. The running back is coming out of the backfield. Okay, his eyes are on the corner. So as he wheels out of the backfield, he's got to get depth. All right, we want our width. All right, we want him getting from the numbers to the sideline, eyes on the corner. He's got to get the 8 yards before he breaks his route off. All right, and you're going to see what happens here. Okay, there it is. Safety creeps down. Linebacker runs with the back. We do want number 1 here in the boundary getting more to the hash than what he does on this play. He does a great job, though, of making sure he does not come underneath that backer. Now, our running back does an excellent job, too, because he's going to get wide, okay, and he realizes the backer is over the top of him. So if the backer gets depth, all right, and he's over the top, and you cannot beat him, all right, to the sideline, up the sideline, and he's going to stick his foot in the ground at 8 and cut it off and just let him stay over the top. And there are many times where we've hit our back on the sideline because of this. All right, and teams play the corner on the post protect, and they have the will linebacker get depth, right, to protect from getting beat on the wheel route. We'll just break that route off and hit it to 8 and turn into 10 or 12. Okay, next slide here. Again, 3-by-1. We're to the boundary. We like throwing this to the boundary. This is not a middle of the field throw for us, or we're going to swing our back, to the field. We don't like doing that, so we like him in the boundary here. What you're going to see this will linebacker. He's starting to creep up. Okay, he creeps up, he blitzes. All right, so what we have is we still run our normal switch route with number 1 in the boundary. All right, our S back. All right, what we need to do a better job of, though, he does a good job of identifying the blitzer. All right, we tell him as you go, if you see your man blitz, look for the football. All right, but we still want him working a little bit wider than where he is where he catches his pass. Okay, we should be a little closer to the sideline than what we are because we need to run away from the next man who has him, which is the inside linebacker. Our quarterback does an excellent job seeing the blitz pre-snap, knowing where he has to go with the ball. Okay, and then what you're going to see up here is we will tag a route off of this. Okay, so we'll run a smash. There are times where we run a shallow, especially out 3-by-1. We'll bring a shallow route coming across in case nothing is open. And it's typically our number 2 receiver coming flat right down the line. And there are times last year where we were able to hit him in case they were able to take everything away from us. We usually get that shallow to come wide open underneath to the boundary. Okay, here it's late in the game. We are trying to score. There is roughly about 1 minute to go in the game here. We just driven down the field. And again, we are getting what we want. We're getting the will linebacker. He's creeping up. He's coming off of a blitz. Okay, again, we're going to run a shallow concept. This is a 3-by-1 set. We have a tight end here. We want him getting vertical, all right, a little bit wider, get vertical to clear the safeties out. We're going to bring the shallow coming across, even though we have the swing still into the boundary here. Quarterback identifies the blitz. He sees it. He dumps it off. Our running back does a great job of getting into the end zone. Okay, again, we want to get a little bit wider, all right? Our back does a great job. He sees the blitz coming off the edge. All right, he even gives him a little two-hand shove there before he releases. Quarterback sees it, identifies it, makes a great play. Okay, now we're going to talk about some of our switch routes to the field. Okay, we can do it out of multiple formations as well. We like it more out of a 3-by-1 and a 3-by-2 set or an empty set. We will run a switch route with our number 1 and our number 2 receivers. We will run a switch route with our number 2 and our number 3 receivers. And we'll also run a switch route with our number 3, basically wheeling himself, through the number 1 and number 2 receivers' heels and getting width, right, and working up the sideline. So you're going to see a few of those videos here. Okay, here it is. For the switch route, number 1 is going to line at the top of the numbers. Again, we pretty much want to run this from a hash as much as we can. He's going to angle towards the hash, the field hash, and he needs to push it 12 yards before identifying the safety. If there's a safety seen over the top of him on the hash, he will break it off at 12, all right, he's going to work inside. All right, if there is no safety, okay, or if there's a safety just off the hash or flat foot or even with him, he is getting vertical right now. Our number 2 receiver is going to line on the hash or just outside of it. We want him to release through the heels of the number 1 receiver and get width up the sideline. He's going to read the corner. If that corner runs with number 1, all right, he's going to stay wide and get vertical. Okay? If the corner does funnel deep or he stays on top of him, all right, he's going to sit the route at 8 yards and work back towards the sideline. Okay, our quarterback will identify the safety's alignment pre-snap. This is what we're looking at. Okay, he's looking to see if he can hit number 1 up the hash or on a dig. And if he knows it's cloudy, he's going to look for number 2 on the sideline. Now, this is a hash to sideline throw. All right, and I know there aren't a lot of quarterbacks in high school that can make this throw. We want to make sure our quarterbacks can. If they can't, this is not something that we have them throw if they don't have the arm strength to get it done. But we've been blessed that we've, the last 5 years that I've been at Hilliard Bradley, that we've had, 4 quarterbacks that can all make that throw. Okay, here we are in a 3-by-1 set with a tight end. All right, we are playing on the college football field, so the hashes are a little bit tighter than normal, so we treat this more as if we were in the middle of the field. We're going to have our tight end release. Okay, we want him getting underneath the outside backer, over the inside backer, all right, and getting to the other hash. We have number 1, number 2 down here, number 13 and number 4 you see on the screen. They're going to be running the switch routes, all right, on this play. And because there really is no hash mark indicator for our number 1, he knows he has to get inside and get vertical. He's going to treat this player right here as a safety. All right, we're going to treat him as a safety. So he wants to get deep. If he stays on top of him, then he's going to break his route off, all right, and work inside. The reason why we treat him as a safety for this week is, they were playing a 3-3 odd stack, and they were playing these rovers, these outside linebackers, pretty deep. All right, and we noticed that on film that they were going to play 7, 8, 9 yards deep. So we're going to treat that kid as a safety. And as you see here, all right, he's working inside number 1. All right, he sees he probably could have kept running, all right, with him. But he also sees the free safety or the middle safety get over the top, so he breaks his route off, tries working inside. Number 2 does a good job, all right? He gets wide, okay, he gets up the field, he breaks his route off, all right? It was a low throw, but he does an excellent job of seeing his route. He's reading the corner. You can see how deep the corner is. Okay, here is an end zone shot. This is the corner. All right, you can see how deep he gets. All right, he's 15, 18 yards off. We're going to make that throw every day. Okay, here it is again. All right, tight end trip set. We're going to run a switch route between number 1 and number 2. Number 1 does an excellent job. All right, this is a little loose man-to-man that they're playing against us. Does a great job of seeing his route. No man, there's still safety high, playing over the top. He just sits, finds that window. Number 2 does a good job as well. He's reading the corner. He's corner run. So he's thinking man-to-man, I'm going to outrun my defender. Okay, here we go. We're going trips into the boundary. There are a lot of times we like to put our strength in the boundary and put our single receiver to the field on the hash, right, just to see how teams are going to play us. We feel that, we have an advantage to either go past the corner, if the safety's not going to play over the top and help. All right, we have the ability to also just run a hitch route. All right, but for this play here, we're going to run the switch route in the boundary between number 1 and number 2. All right, we're going to have number 3. We want him working, all right, under the outside backer, over the inside backer, trying to get to the other hash. All right, our number 1 receiver to the field should be running a fade route, all right, to get the corner out of there as well. And now we're really looking to see what we can do here. Our receiver here, number 1 receiver to the boundary, does an excellent job of staying over the top, all right, and getting to the hash. And our number 2 receiver does an excellent job of reading the corner here. So as you can see, he's staying over top of that will linebacker, number 1 does. And what it does is it forces that wheel to expand and get depth, okay? Since they were playing the corner deep as well, our receiver just sits that route off, all right? Catches it about 9 yards and gets the first down at 10. It's an excellent job. Okay, we also run that switch route out of our empty formation between numbers 2 and number 3 as well. The next clip you're going to see is we're going to talk about what their landmarks are, all right? And then the video is going to show you what we get man-to-man in a playoff game. We had about 3 minutes to go, and this was a third down play. We're down by 1, with the chance to win here, we just miss it. But this, you can see how wide open this comes, especially for getting man-to-man teams who, aren't really sure who they're supposed to have on switch routes. Okay, so out of this look here, to the 3 receiver side is where we want to run the switch between number 2 and number 3. So our number 1 receiver is going to run a fade. He's going to fade towards the sideline. All right, number 2 is going to line on the hash. He's going to release at an angle through a nearest linebacker's outside shoulder. So the man that is playing over number 3, he wants to angle through his outside shoulder, staying over the top. Okay, and then he's looking to get vertical and split the safeties down the middle of the field if it's a too high look. If it is a 1 high look and there's a safety over the top of him, then he's going to break his route off like he usually does, all right, at about 10 to 12 yards. Okay, we do not want him looking for the ball until he clears that nearest linebacker. All right, our number 3 receiver here is going to release wide through the heels of the number 2. All right, he needs to get to the hash or just outside the hash and get vertical with his eyes on the nearest safety. Again, if the safety comes over the top of him, he breaks his route off and works inside at 10 to 12 yards. There is no safety on the hash. He needs to stay vertical right now. All right. What you're going to see here, okay, is you'll see that the team that we were playing, they were worried about our outside receivers, and you're going to see the safety playing to the field, playing over number 1, and it's going to leave the middle of the field wide open. All right. We need to do a better job of running our smash route backside into the boundary. All right, but you're going to see, you can't see the safety right now on the field, but he is playing closer to number 1. He's in between number 1 and number 2, all right, to help protect against us, knowing that we have the ability to throw deep to our number 1 receivers. So as you see here, that's the switch route between number 2 and number 3. Again, we just missed this here. All right, we get this, it's a touchdown. All right, comes in pretty hot. All right, but you can see, we get the defense confused, not knowing who is going to pick who up. And we have the switch route right there. Again, number 2 backside, we need to do a better job of a run corner route. We should have been running a hitch route, number 1 backside as well. Okay, in the next few videos, you're going to see a switch route to the field with number 3 on a wheel route. All right, what we're trying to do is we're trying to teach our number 2 receiver, especially we like this down around the goal line area. We want him to aim for the inside linebacker or maybe the man that's over number 3. We're going to aim right at his outside shoulder, okay, and then get vertical. He should be splitting the uprights. Okay, so as he gets to his outside shoulder and then he needs to get vertical and split the uprights, he needs to look for the football. All right, number 1 is going to attack number 2's man on his outside shoulder, get to the hash, and get vertical as well. He needs to look a little bit quicker because that ball may hit him pretty fast on that end route, okay, to get vertical there, especially if you have the corner staying deep, all right, knowing that the wheel is coming, and you still have that number 2 defender running with our number 2 receiver. Okay, so he needs to look for the ball pretty quickly, number 1 does. And we have number 3 running the wheel. He's going to go right through the heels. All right, both number 2 and number 3, we want him to get wide. All right, and we want him to make sure that he stays wide through the numbers, okay, and then outside the numbers and expands. As you can see, we run this a couple times on the goal line. It's been a very good play for us in the past, and you're going to see we're going to have a couple of different receivers come open because of the man-to-man switch-offs. Okay, here we are. We have a trips to the field and a tight end backside. I really like it out of this formation. It helps us protect when we need to throw. Also gives us a number advantage if they want to play 4-on-3. All right, 2 or 3 receiver side. We feel we have the advantage to run the football at that point. But here they do not. All right, they're playing 3-on-3, strictly man-to-man. Again, we want number 2. All right here. You can't see number 1 yet. He is off the screen. But you're going to see number 2. We want him to aim for this man's outside shoulder. All right. If he flies out of there, then he is going to stick his foot in the ground. All right, and look for the ball and almost turn it into a skinny pose. All right. Number 1 should be aiming through number 2, the number 2 defender, okay, over our number 2 receiver. Again, we were aiming for his outside shoulder. We want him to have to run underneath. Okay, all routes. All right. We want this guy who has to run with the wheel to have to come underneath and chase, so we can throw that ball deep on a fade route in the back pylon. All right. Now, he knows as well that he's got to look for the football. If this guy runs, okay, with number 2, then he's looking for the ball right now. All right, because that ball could hit him. And then, of course, we've got the corner on the read. So our number 3, as he wheels, he reads the corner. If the corner runs with our number 1 receiver, he knows that the ball is coming to him on the fade route or the wheel route. If the corner were to sit, all right, what he does is he gets to inside the goal line and he breaks that route off, and he's going to break it off right to the pylon. So as you see here, okay, the corner comes off of our number 1 receiver. He do not get to his outside shoulder because he was pretty deep as a number 3 defender, and he is running right now on that wheel route. So we had 2 choices here. We could have hit number 1, as you see, right up the seam. Okay, our quarterback stays with the wheel. He liked it. I asked him why when he came off the field, and I had a chance to talk to him through the headset, and he told me he saw the corner start to run with number 1, so he knew right away he was going to hit number 3 on that wheel route, or, kid makes a great play there. All right, we have a couple guys wide open. This is the end zone shot. You can see the protection. All right, it's a great job all the way around. Okay, next, you're going to see another wheel route. You're going to see what happens when things break down. All right, we do not pick up this backer blitzing. Again, we should be running right through, number 2 should be running right through the outside shoulder of this defender. We don't run a very good route here. Number 1 should be running through his outside shoulder and then getting up the hash. Okay, again, number 2 through the number 3 defender's outside shoulder, all right, and then splitting the uprights. And again, number 3 on the wheel through the heels, all right, getting depth, all right, to the back pylon here. All right, you're going to see it breaks down, but we do a great job. Our number 1 does an excellent job. He gets to the hash, and then he works flat coming across. Number 3 does a great job as well as he runs the wheel, all right, and he knows he has to start working back towards the front of the pylon, all right, and it really opens up a window here for our number 1 to work back and get depth and make the touchdown catch. Again, this is not a great route that we ran, and it wasn't a great protection call by myself. So we're lucky we have a quarterback that is athletic enough that he can beat a blitzer who came free and then make a heck of a throw here on the run. There he is. He makes a man miss. You see, we keep working. All right, number 1 does a great job. Okay, he gets that hash. He sees, it's cluttered, because it was. All right, you can see our number 2 here. He's trying to fight. He's trying to get to his outside shoulder, but we don't want that. We don't want that arm coming out, and he's got to keep going. Okay, he's got to keep going. We don't want to stop and clutter things up for the quarterback. All right, we want him to get in the middle of the field and split the uprights. Okay, if we are protecting this, we probably are able to hit number 3 on the wheel. You see how he comes open, and we've got his man and chase mode coming underneath. We would be able to hit that, but because we were getting flushed, he does a great job making a miss. We do need him angling back more towards the pylon, all right, coming here at an angle, so we're creating levels, We work on the scramble drill that does this throughout the week. So we have to make sure that we know exactly where our landmarks are, but heck of a play, heck of a throw by the quarterback and catch by number 1. Okay, now we talked about earlier how we like to put our trips into the boundary, and we want to be able to throw, fade or hitch or something to the field depending on what kind of coverage that we're getting by the corner and the safety to that side. Typically, most teams are either going to play one high against this look, all right, and if they do, they're going to roll that strong safety down, okay, and, kind of force you to find somewhere else to go with the football, or they're going to put the strong safety inside the hash, all right, the corner deep, all right, which gives us, a go route to throw, and then for us to be able to break that go route off towards the sideline, all right, at 8 yards, and just kind of take what we get here. Okay, so as you can see, we have tight end trips into the boundary. Oh, excuse me, we're actually in 2x2 here with our tight end to the field. So we're in 2x2. All right, it's going to force this team to have to play too high against us. You can see number 1, we want him more on the hash, but I told him he's fine if he's just outside of it, which he is. All right, he's going to push it vertical. We get this corner to flip his hips open to the field. All right, and then you're going to see that he knows that he can't really beat him on the fade route. So what he's going to do is he's going to stick his foot in the ground. All right, he's just going to kind of feather himself out towards the sideline. There he is. Okay, again, he's running the fade, pushing vertical. He even stumbles coming out of his break here. Push vertical. He stops, puts his foot in the ground, feathers out. You can see we end up picking, I believe, up 15 yards here for the first down just off this play. Here again, we have the safety. Because we have a tight end here, he's going to play tighter to the box. That does help allow us to go 1-1 to the outside with our receiver. Okay, this look here, again, we're in 2x2. We have a tight end to the boundary out of this look. Again, like I said, we've done it a lot of times where we have, motion. We tighten him down. We've motioned number 2 across and run trips to the boundary, and we are looking to throw that fade or go to number 1, really depending on what he does. We don't really care what the corner, where his alignment is. We figure if he's within 4 or 5 yards of us, we're going to run right past him. If he starts getting deep to 8 yards or so, then we know he's going to flip his hips and run, and we can break that off right where he started his alignment at. So here, he's starting to backpedal. We're running to go. We realize, all right, we get to that 10-yard mark. Okay, we know we're not going to beat him deep, but we're going to break it off, work to the sideline. Quarterback makes a heck of a throw. One thing we do like our number 2 receivers to do when we call this play is they're going to get vertical as well. They're going to read the near side safety. If he gets deep, we want him breaking it off at 12. All right. So really everything kind of stays the same with the way that we run our routes. Here's the end zone shot. Okay, we do protect backside, making sure that we have 7 guys to protect. We know this is a one-on-one route, so we want to max protect this. Again, appreciate you guys having a chance to listen to me here. If you have any questions, feel free to reach me through either Twitter or my email. You can find me at Twitter at Wens, W-E-N-S _MO. Again, that's WENS _MO. Or you can email me through my Gmail account, which is mko0802 @swcsd.us. I appreciate you guys coming to listen. Hopefully you guys picked up on anything. If you want to talk anytime, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you.